Hello everyone, happy Wednesday. I hope you're doing well. It's freezing here in Cincinnati and I'm all bundled up for the cold because we're expecting some snow tonight and tomorrow. And I just finished teaching my Wednesday class and I wanted to just talk with you really quickly because something came up and I thought it would be nice to share it with you as well. And the thing that came up was the singing of Om in class and why we do it. Now, Om often, you'll see it written as O-M, but A-U-M and the silence that follows afterwards, those four sounds, so to speak, really signify the Om. The Ah, U, and then that silence that comes at the end. Now, the sounds, if you notice, when you start with the Ah, it begins at the back of the palate, the upper roof of the mouth, and the is the middle palate, and then the is right on the lips, and then it just emanates out, and then there's that silence. I had the most amazing experience in a large workshop once. There's probably about 300 of us in the room, and when we were singing our Om, before we began, we heard the sound of a lawnmower outside. It was the springtime, and we'd had the windows open where we were. And we all sang the Om on the key of the lawnmower, which sounds so funny, but really, all sounds have a musical representation, and we found that key, so to speak, that note, and we began our Oms. And as we sang our Oms and connected with this lawnmower, at the very end, after we had finished our Ms, and there was that resonance, it was the most amazing thing. Imagine 300 people singing Om together, connecting with this lawnmower outside. And when we finished, we heard very faintly the Om continuing on, the sound. Oh, I get goosebumps remembering. And it was the lawnmower, right? So the lawnmower continued the sound. Now here's why we sing the Om and why I shared that story. All things are moving, right? Even when they appear solid, like the ground beneath us or the table. All objects are made up of atoms, and atoms are moving at some rate, and they're bumping into one another. So even though we can't see them moving, even though things appear solid, it's just that the atoms are moving at a faster rate, and we can't see the movement, and it appears solid. When things move, they're likely to bump into each other, especially if they're moving very quickly. And whenever anything bumps into something, there's a sound that is made. We might not be able to hear that sound, kind of like the tree falling in the forest, but there's a sound, okay? And the common denominator that connects all those sounds is the Om. So when we sing Om, what we're doing is we're essentially recognizing that we're connected to the world around us. We can connect with what seems like inanimate solid objects or lawnmowers. It reminds us that our actions have an effect. You know, we're not an island living in our own little world, but the choices we make and the actions we take have a ripple effect on all of those around us. You know, if we choose to go right when we could have gone left, you know, if we choose one meal over another, if we send a smile to a stranger, hold open a door, all these little things like the pay it forward concept, they have that ripple effect. We are connected to the world around us, no matter how often we think, oh, well, this is my choice and how does it affect anybody else? It does. You know, even our thoughts can affect what's going on around us and our world. So the Om, we sing it to recognize that our actions have an effect. We're part of a community, and we want to connect with that community, especially coming together at the beginning of a yoga class when we've been coming from all different directions, and a lot of times we're rushing to get to class on time and just trying to all of a sudden go from being harried to calm and focused. And so when you arrive in class, you give yourself a moment to transition from whatever you were doing before to that moment then and now, where you begin the practice of yoga. Very important, the transitions, not to be glossed over. The Om is part of that process. It takes us out of that individualistic mindset and into the remembrance that we're connected. We sing it 3 times because the first time we're still kind of trying to feel our way. We want to soften our ears so we can hear the sounds of the ohms around us and what note or key are our friends singing in. The second time, we're a little bit more joined together in sound and uniform. And by the third time, we've really had a chance to connect and harmonize our ohms and bring together a very sweet, connected sound. So that's why we sing the ohms at the beginning of class. And this is also why I want to tell you, if you've been feeling stuck and frustrated, you feel like you're going through the same old things over and over, especially as we come to New Year's and we're setting resolutions and intentions for 2017, you might look back and think, wow, how did that happen again? How did I end up in, the same cycle, the same wheel, We get frustrated with ourselves for habits and patterns that we just can't seem to kick, or we just feel stuck, like we're not moving forward. Well, remember, everything is constantly moving. We're constantly in motion. And don't let it frustrate you when you're seeing other people move and it looks like they're moving forward, because it's not meant to be linear. We're going to dance around in our journey. We're going to move forward sometimes, backwards, sideways, turn around, do a little dance, fall down, jump back up. But we're always moving. And when you feel like you're stuck and you're not moving, take a look at your thoughts. Because usually what's happening is we're just thinking the same thing over and over again. So the thoughts are still moving. We're just kind of stuck on repeat. See what you can do to help you switch the mindset so that you're not stuck on that same repetitive thought pattern that's not serving you. And some of the things that might help you, getting outside, even on the cold days, bundle up, One of my favorite quotes that a student just shared with me again is, there's no such thing as bad weather, only inappropriate clothing. I love that. So you'll always see me in my silly hat and my scarves, because it's important to be outside. It's important to know the music to go to lift your spirits. Or there might be certain teachers that when you listen to their trainings, they uplift you. They remind you of where you are and where you can go, and just to experience the joy and peace in the moment, how to access it again. Because it's always inside you. It's always, always there. Sometimes we just forget how to get there. That's why it's nice to have external triggers like music and being outside and favorite movies and people who just help remind us of the joy that's within and show us that pathway back into our heart center if we forget. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you stay warm wherever you are, and I look forward to serving you in 2017. And remember, we've got our Yoga Winter Challenge coming up Wednesday, January 11th. We kick it off. So if you haven't signed up yet, sign up. I'll leave a link in the comments. Have a wonderful day and lots of love. Mwah. Namaste.